Good day everyone, we are from the group 4 and for today's presentation, we are going to tackle about the Asian regionalism. For the contents of the topic, that will be first presented by Charlie Gonzalez and Lenny Calustre, which is the regionalism and regionalization. To be followed by Jovelyn Libre for the second content of the topic, which is regionalization and globalization. Angel Ordizay-Son, together with Karen Racho, Cristina Tarte, and Maria Shalo Cobrado for the third content of the topic, which is the benefits of regionalism. And for the last topic, which is the characteristics of regionalism, is to be tackled by Rovik Bayawa.
Regionalism is easier to define since it relates to the propensity of organizing the globe into various areas at the political level. Its political substance is based on the authority of governments to fulfill national objectives. However, due to its symbolic relationship with globalism, it is difficult to define regionalism as a distinct term. The size of a nation is frequently determined by political decisions and geographic norms. However, the cultural identities and political perspective of the place inside it might vary widely, and regional identification can sometimes be stronger than national identity. Regionalism is a political theory that stresses local identity, the need of autonomous regional planning, and administrative flexibility. It supports the display of cultural differences and prioritizes regional above nation concern. In other words, regionalist politics in a region are focused on that region's distinct territory. They aim to move the national agenda toward local problems and want more autonomy for that region. The purpose of studying regionalism is not so much to develop a single general framework of regionalism as it is to develop a cohesive methodological framework that will allow for interaction between various theoretical perspectives in various subject areas. In other words, rather than focusing on the outcomes, the focuses should be on the causes of regionalism. This would be an excellent starting point for shifting away from the Eurocentric normative approach that has dominated the study of regionalism to a more cohesive theoretical understanding of the underpinning of various regional experience throughout the world.
The SPS Agreement, Regionalization, Article 6. Here's another concept of SPS agreement. Regionalization. What it is? Well, when the world decided on its country, boundaries didn't actually consult. The bugs, the plants, the pests, the disease, and pathogens circumstantly that are really take much noise of the boundaries. Today, to this deal with his lack of bug cooperation, the SPS agreement acknowledge that within a country there may be areas free of pests which don't correspond to the human-imposed political boundaries. As you can see, with the differences of climate and the variation of graphical features, it is going to impact of a types and distribution of various pests and disease. So it's not always appropriate to impose the same SPS measures across the whole country. It's not the country of origin that's important, but rather the area of origin. A great example is Bluetang. Export land is a big country with quite diverse environment condition. Bluetang requires a certain insect vector of its transmission. These are only present in certain area of land expert. With the concept of regionalization, export land has the option of requesting its trading partners to consider having a different import condition for the same product, depending on where that product originates from within export land. The SPS agreement sets out some of the things that import land may want to consider. The existence of control and surveillance programs, the existence of eradication programs, the level of prevalence of specific pests, diseases. It's also important to look the appropriate guidelines that may have been developed by the World Organization of Animal Health and International Plant Protection Convention. So, if export land wants to send ship or ship products to the import land and request regionalization be considered, they will be required to provide the necessary necessary specific evidence to demonstrate to import land that they are pest-free areas and they will be remain that way, and that SPS agreements regionalization in a nutshell.
A pleasant day first and foremost. Thank you for allowing me to speak about myself. My name is Jovelyn Carlos Libre, and I am the one who will be talking about regionalization and globalization. So what is regionalism? Regionalism is a political ideology which seeks to increase the political power, influence, or self-determination of the people or one or more subnational regions. Regions may be delineated by administrative divisions, cultures, language, and regions, and among others. And it is important because it has been proven to increase the efficiency and effectiveness of local government. Its more efficient governments help keep taxes and fees lower. After all, not all problems are better solved by taking a regional approach, and in fact, it often doesn't work. So, what is globalization? Globalization is also very important because it changes the nation, businesses, and people interact. Particularly, it transforms the nature of economic activity between nations, and it expands trade, opens globally supply chains, and provides access to natural resources and labor markets. So, what is regionalism in globalization? So, we define regionalism as the impact of rising levels of regional and social and economic integration, institutions, and identity, and globalization as the internationalization of production, capital flows, and markets, the emerge of the transnational. So, that is the regionalization and globalization. Thank you so much.
Good day everyone. I assume that you already know if what is regionalism and regionalization all about. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Jailer de la Cruzaison, and I am the first one to discuss the first 3 benefits of Asia from regionalism. And for the 4, 5, and 6 will be discussed by Kern Racho. According to ADB Report 2008, the following are the benefits of Asia from regionalism. 1. Link the competitive strengths of its diverse economies in order to boost their productivity and to sustain the region's exceptional growth. Meaning to say that the key features of Asia from regionalism is to improve the productivity and sustainability to the region's economic boom. It should also connect the core competencies of its diverse economies. And number 2, ADB report states that it connects or integrates the region's capital or financial markets to enhance the financial stability, reduce the cost of capital or lower investment prices, and to improve or to maximize the opportunities for sharing risk or revenue sharing opportunities. For the number 3, ADB report also states that the key benefits of Asia from regionalism is to cooperate in setting exchange rate and macroeconomic policies. So what is macroeconomic policies all about? Basically, macroeconomic policies aims to provide a stable economic environment that is conducive to fostering a strong and sustainable economic growth in order to minimize the effects of the regional and international shocks or disruptions, and basically to facilitate the resolution of global rising imbalances.
4. Pool the region's foreign exchange reserves to make more resources available for investment and development. The fourth benefit stated that regionalism has the ability to integrate the region's foreign exchange reserves to make the resources more accessible for investment and development. 5. Exercise leadership in global making to sustain the open global trade and financial system that have supported a half-century of unparalleled economic development. The fifth benefit stated that regionalism practiced leadership in global making to sustain or maintain the open global trade and financial system that have supported a half-century of unparalleled development. Unparalleled means having no equal or exceptional. 6. Build connected infrastructure and collaborate on inclusive development to reduce inequalities within and across economies and thus to strengthen support for pro-growth policies. The sixth benefit stated that regionalism will help on making a global development and will help in creating equality within and across economies and to strengthen support for pro-growth policies.
7. Create regional mechanisms to manage cross-border health, safety, and environmental issues better. To have managed cross-border health, safety, and environmental issues better, create regional mechanisms. Conversely, ADB 2008 further stated the benefit of the world to Asian regionalism are as follows. 1. Generate productivity gains, new ideas, and competition that boost economic growth and raise income across the world. 2. Contribute to the efficiency and stability of global financial markets by making Asian capital markets stronger and safer, and by maximizing the productive use of Asian savings. Making Asian capital markets stronger and safer and by maximizing the productive use of Asian savings can contribute to the efficiency and stability of global financial markets.
Before we proceed to the number 3, 4, and 5 benefits of the world to Asian regionalism, let us define first what is Asian regionalism. Asian regionalism is a product of economic interaction in Asian countries. When we say Asian, we are referring to people in Asia. So now, let's proceed to number 3, 4, and 5 benefits starting with number 3. In number 3, it states that it diversifies sources of global demand. When we say diversify, it means enlarge or expand. So Asian regionalism enlarge or expand sources of global demand that can maintain the stability of the world economy and diminish the risk, or that can lessen or decrease the risk bring by global imbalances and downturns in other major economies. In number 4, it states that it provides leadership to help sustain open global trade and financial systems. So it's very understandable that Asian regionalism can lead to help sustain open global trade and financial system, not just in Asian countries, but they can be a leader to all countries globally. Lastly, And number 5, it states that it creates regional mechanisms to manage health, safety, and environmental issues better and thus contribute to more effective global solution of these problems. It is very clear that Asian regionalism make regional mechanism that can do something to health, safety, and environmental issues better and can come up to more effective global solution of the problems. And that was all of the benefits of the world to Asian regionalism. So the next person to talk about the characteristic of regionalism is Mr. Rovik Bayawa.
Characteristics of regionalism. The main characteristics of regionalism are its strong local identity and the claims for more political and economic autonomy. Local identity. Strong local identity and the loyalty to the region. Politicians and many residents feel pride in the local culture and its people. Autonomy. It can be economic in the form of more power to administer economic resources and modify fiscal policies. It can also be political, with stronger local institutions and the ability to pass laws and enforce local policies.
And that is all for today's presentation, guys. We hope that you learned something about it. Once again, we are from the Group 4 and thank you for watching.